Good morning, everybody. Waking Up California with Diego Martinez, candidate for Governor of California 2022. Boy, do we have a lot that has happened this last week. We have a lot to go over. We have a few things to discuss about what happened in the elections, why they turned out that way. We could talk about voter fraud. We can talk about anything you want. We have to look at California in a sensible way and understand what the good and the bad of this has happened. Boy, we have a long ways to go and a lot to talk about, right? Immunizations, records, counties that are making you show a ID or a card saying that you've been vaccinated to be able to go in to their public establishments. That is coming up. A lot of stuff in California. Let's start off with this. Let's start with the elections on Tuesday. Why not? We have a lot of stuff going on Tuesday. Why did the elections finish where they're at? What is really going on? Is there votes that haven't been counted yet? Are votes still coming in? How do we know it was not rigged? How do we know it was legit? A lot of people are saying that they went to the ballots and somebody had already casted a vote for them, right? I want to say good morning to everybody who just joined us, everybody who came out there. Sorry, I'm a little late in English today. Trying to go from Spanish to English sometimes takes me a little bit of time to organize everything and switch pages. So let's talk a little bit about what happened. Our turnout for voting is probably at one of its all-time lowest. 22 million people can vote. About 12 million showed up. That's half the people. Why did that happen? Was this rigged? Was there fraud? Everybody's going to have their own opinion. So I got a few problems with that. First of all, if you're talking about fraud before the election happened, not a good thing. Stop crying before you spill the milk. Second, we have got to get over that. We can't fix this. I want everybody to know this. If you believe there's fraud, we cannot fix this till we get the right people in office. We can go over it and over it and over it a million times. It's not going to change anything. You guys want to fix something? Here's the easiest way. Start liking and sharing the videos. Start getting your family, your friends, your neighbors, everybody you know, everybody they know involved in local politics. In local, what I mean is the state of California. Okay? You had the Democratic Party show up in full force. Full force. They got the president of the United States to actually leave his ice cream factory out of his cellar and drive all the way here, fly all the way here, however he got here, to California to have a rally. That is something the Republican Party didn't do. Yet the Republican Party gives money to other Republicans in other states. We didn't have one elected official in the Republican Party support this recall. That's a big problem. A lot of people I know said it wasn't worth voting over a 1 year or less term. 100%. I heard that a million times. As a matter of fact, I heard it on Tuesday, right before the polls came out. I was somewhere. Young lady starts talking to me, and all she said was this: "This is stupid. It's a waste of our money. We shouldn't be doing this. He only has a year left. That money could be going to something else." She's all, "I have kids at home who are disabled. We have needs for housing, and we don't have that, but we're spending millions of dollars on a 1-year election, on a recall when we voted the guy in for 4 years." I also put a letter on my Facebook, I believe it is, of a gentleman who said, "I am voting no on the recall because we voted for Gavin Newsom for 4 years and his term's almost up. Let's get over it." A lot of people felt that. The second part of it was when you put a front runner, which wasn't really a front runner because nobody knows. Yes, the man got more votes than everybody else. Could that be because everybody evaluated him and pushed him to that limit? We don't know. He didn't debate anybody. He didn't want to be around any other candidate. But they made it about Gavin Newsom and Larry Elder. People that I know said, "Why would I vote for Larry Elder? I don't like him. I'd rather keep the devil that I know than the devil I don't know." I think that hurt our whole election. If you guys look at polls, graphs, whatever you guys want to look at it, because I did. August 14th, Larry Elder gets endorsed by the CRA. So the top line is going to be no on the recall. The top line's yes. This is where the numbers start going all the way down. And then it ended up like this. 57.5 said they would vote no on the recall. And 42% has said yes on the recall. When you made it about one person, you divided the votes. Then you divided California. A lot of people. A year left or not, people need to vote. Newsom is the very reason our state is in disaster. I agree with you 100%. I'm not disagreeing. Nobody heard me disagree that Newsom needs to be replaced. What I'm saying is the way we went about it, we screwed ourselves. We messed up. We didn't do a good enough job. And a lot of people did not come out to vote. And when they idolized one person over 47 other, it hurt the recall. It hurt John Cox. It hurt Kevin Faulconer, Jenner, Kevin Kiley. His numbers were really low for who they are. People want to talk about my numbers. I'm in the middle. Not bad for a person, not a whole lot of money spent on the campaign, not a lot of donations, okay? So not bad for where we and what we spent and the effort. No, my efforts were probably a lot harder than what I got in numbers, but people were drawn away when everybody said Larry Elder's going to win, Larry Elder's going to win, you got to go for Larry Elder. That hurt every single grassroots candidate. That hurt big name people. So when you look at my campaign, we didn't do too bad. And I know a lot of people, you fit my first campaign ever. I didn't know what we were expecting. Nobody knew. I thought what I was doing was right. Now I know better because now I have numbers that I could go back and fix. That's what a business person does. You go back, you analyze where you've been, where you're headed, and what is going to help you be better. That's exactly what we did. That's exactly what we're doing now to October 1st. Yes, I am running 2022. I'm not giving up. That's what I started to do. The recall has been a good insurance to allow me to see where we need to go and what we need to modify, what we need to tweak, and how much more money do we really need to put in this, and how much bigger of a team that you need to be able to do this. So those are the things that we're working on to October 1st. What I would like to ask anybody that wants to volunteer, wants to actually get involved, do me a favor. Go to DiegoMartinezforGovernor.com. Go under Team Diego. Put what you're willing to do, whether it's just share the videos, whether it's just go out when we start doing our events come October and be able to go out there and help us set up, help us run the booth, help us get people situated. All that helps. Or be a location in your county where we can go and put merchandise and actually get it out to the local people, where it's even just walking around and handing out flyers at our events. All that is very important. Those are some of the stuff that we were lacking. We didn't have enough outside one-on-one community support where we needed it. Walking precincts, letting people know who I am. All that hurt. Going on Facebook and just sharing. Going on Twitter. Going on Instagram. Going on all the social medias and just sharing our platform around. That's the help that we need right now. I'm also going to ask everybody who's listening or who supports me to do me a favor today. I'm going to put links on both sides here in a little bit. Please go to DiegoMartinezforGovernor.com, hit these links down here, and donate $5. $5 per person that supports me will get us enough to be able to get this momentum going and get us back, get some commercials laid out. We know that we needed to do television commercials. We were set up to do them. But in the last week, we looked at everything and it didn't make sense to spend the money doing that when we kind of had a clue about what was going on with the election and where we were headed. We didn't know it was going to be that far off. We thought the election was going to be a lot closer. We thought that we were going to be arguing this in court because it would have been so close. Unfortunately, it wasn't that close. So when you look at the numbers, if it would have been 51 to 48 or 49, then it's worth arguing and going and looking at it. When you're at 67% to 40, it's really not, I don't know we get anything by legislation. I talked to a lot of people. A lot of people said, like this gentleman on my right, he said this, I'm not voting for a year. You want to talk about rigged? It could have been rigged. We don't know. Why? Because we only had 12 million people show up to vote, not the 22 million that we needed. See, we could say it's been rigged. We could say it was fraudulent. We could say we can't fix that till we change it. We can't fix that till we get the right assemblymen to stand up for us. We can't change that till we get the right congressmen to stand up for us. We can't change any of this. So you guys want to make a difference? Get all your friends involved. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. This affects each in every single one of us. And we have got to stop talking before the elections come up that they're rigged. Why? That discourages people from going out and voting. Flat out, people told me, I'm not voting for a year. I'm going to leave them alone. Or if I go and vote, it's going to be a no. And I'm not putting anybody's name underneath there. We got a lot of that. We got people that felt that Gavin Newsom should have finished his term before anybody got in the middle of it. This stuff is what's going on. This is real. That is exactly what is going on to us right now. Democrats knew they didn't have to rig this one. The controversy, Conservative Party, much handed them this one. Brian, I'm going to agree with you. I think we handed it to them once we said it's between you and this guy. I think we could have done a better job. The Republican Party in general could have done a better job exposing the rest of the candidates, putting forms, making people go to debates. And when they had debates, I said this before, you want to pick one person. You want us to get behind one person? Let's do an American Idol kind of thing. Every week, we started with 22 Republican candidates, right? Every week, you go out there, you go on a big stage, they televise it, pick up the phone, you vote on who you want, and whoever gets the least numbers gets booted, or maybe two at a time. There were forms, there were debates. Democrats were on these debates too. Did you guys look at the numbers? Democrats did better than Republicans. The top 10, 7 are Democrats that finish in the numbers. That's got to tell you something. We did not do a good enough job crossing the line. I know where I failed. I know where I hurt a lot that I should have won. My local counties, Tuolumne County, Calaveras County, Amador County. I did decent in Merced County. But I didn't do a good job in my own backyard because I've been here my whole life, pretty much. No, I've been here since high school, so you figure everybody already knows you. Everybody knows that you're running. That was my mistake. I didn't do a good enough job taking care of my own backyard. I worried about Los Angeles, San Diego, up north towards Lake County, Mendocino County. I went all the way up to Eureka. I went all the way down to Chula Vista. I did not spend enough time in my own backyard, and that got my numbers lower than where they should have been. I should have been in Stanislaus County, Merced County, San Joaquin County, Sacramento a lot more. I should have been in Tuolumne County, Calaveras County, Amador County. I should have taken care of my own backyard, which is when we started. That's what we were talking about. But because everybody tells you the population is so much bigger down south, you need to be down there, you need to be down there. We concentrated so much down outside of our area that we lost our own backyard. That's what really hurt me. Riverbank, it's another place. I need to be able to do this in 2022 to actually have a better and more successful run. I learned that. I also learned that with the Hispanic and the Democrats, I didn't do a good enough job getting the message out, where the last week, you guys, I don't know if any of you guys are bilingual that are watching on this show, Univision, Telemundo, all the Hispanics were saying that if Elder won, a lot of people were getting deported. They scared people into a different vote. Whether we like it or not, that is a vote. The problem with Cali is that the National Republican Party doesn't give the state enough backing for good candidates. You know what? I think the biggest problem is that we are so worried that we want somebody that has this name recognition that we don't care what their values are. We heard Larry Elder flip-flop 100 million times, and everybody was making excuses on why he did it. Oh, he didn't mean that. He actually said this. Oh, he's pandering to the left. He's pandering to the right. Stop. Get behind the right candidates. Start getting behind people with values, because that's what happened here. Everybody said, oh, he's going to win. He's going to win. What happened? He didn't win. Why? Because not enough people liked him to go and vote yes. Not enough people liked them. It's not because we had 100 candidates. It's because we focused on one candidate who, guess what, wasn't the right one. Just because of name recognition. I'll tell you what, and this is no lie, and I've told a million people, when I heard he was running, you know what I had to do? I had to go Google him. I didn't know who he was. A lot of people didn't know who he was. Unless you're a conservative and you're in talk radio and you're actually watching Fox News every now and then that he comes on, you do not know who this man is. But we put a lot more influence. You don't believe me? Look back when Jenner first came out. Jenner came out like a rocket. Boom. Oh, my God, a celebrity. Then everybody figured, well, we don't know if we want a transsexual here. So he faded out. Then he left Caitlyn Jenner kind of left. Nobody heard of her. You got John Cox, who ran 4 years ago. Oh, John Cox is going to win. What happened to John Cox? His numbers weren't that impressive either. Not only that, he died out. He faded out. We just went for anybody who we thought was going to do something. And guess what? We didn't do our work. We did not cross over to the other party. We did not get enough people to go out and vote yes. We, as a unit, did not do our jobs right, and that's why we lost. Bottom line, we could call it voter fraud. We could call it rigged. We rigged it ourselves. When we put one person in front of this party instead of allowing everybody to understand who was running, like I said, we could have had debates on television. We could have done this like an American Idol. Put everybody up on stage. Let them debate. The two bottom ones, boom, move them out of there. Let's get the next 4, 5, 6, whatever we have left every week. But then Californians would have actually understood what you stood for. Didn't say you had to get out the race, but it gave everybody an opportunity to be in multimedia, be able to be seen, be able to be heard. We have got to stop worrying about name recognition and money and start worrying about values and people that can cross over and make a difference in California. That is where everything's going to change. You know, I had a lot of support, and a lot of people afterwards told me I voted for Elder because that's who we thought was going to win. We'll vote for you in 2022. That's all great and dandy, and I appreciate everybody's support. I truly do. I want to thank everybody that voted for me. I don't want you to think it was a lost vote, because it's not a lost cause. It gave us a lot of data. It gave us a lot of place to revamp and see where we went wrong and what we did right. I'm not quitting. I'm not going anywhere. We're just going to take a couple weeks. October 1st is our official launch. We're probably going to have a launch party. I'll let people know that are around the area where we have it so that they can actually come. And we could do a real launch party, something I didn't know that you did. So we learned a lot. Again, thank you. Thank you all who did vote for me. Thank you all who believe in me. And thank you for the people who even believed in me and said it and had enough to tell me, hey, I'm voting for Elder because I think we need to get behind one person, and that's who everybody's getting behind, and we're just going to follow suit. I appreciate you just telling me. I appreciate people who are honest with me. I don't hold anything against anybody. But I think we need to vet our candidates better. We need to see who's actually running. We actually need to get involved, and we need our friends to get involved. We need to empower the grassroots-based candidates who really have vested interest in the state and caring. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think we ran a decent campaign for never running one. I think that we know that we need to bring biofuel into California. I know that we need to bring nuclear. We need to bring a lot of the problems that we have in California. We have a solution for the homeless that we actually need to probably tweak a little bit. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, hey, moving homeless that don't want to be in homes over and over again, you might want to reconsider that. Just have a place where they can be. Might be an idea. We'll look into all that. Here's my links where you guys can donate. Please, if you support me, please donate at least $5. $5 from everybody who supports me will get us through this. Will get us going, and we'll get this campaign started October 1st. So please, if you have $5 extra, go to DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Please donate. It goes straight into our campaign account. I don't see the money. I don't touch the money. We use it for the stuff that we need. It is very expensive to run. We notice what money does. So please do that. Let's talk about some policies and stuff that has changed here. We have about another 20, 30 minutes on. So let's talk about some stuff that really it's important for everybody in California. I know that the election everybody wants to talk about is rigged, really. Let's stop. If you guys want to investigate, you guys want somebody to investigate, that's great. Let's look at how to fix the problem. We could explain the problem. We could keep saying this, this, and this. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If you showed up to a poll and they told you that you have already voted, why wouldn't you sit there and make a fuss? Why wouldn't you sit there and call your assemblyman? Why wouldn't you sit there and call your congressman? Why wouldn't you call your local news while you're still there and have the lady or the gentleman at that voting bowl explain to you how you already voted when you're there to vote in person? They can also give you another vote and not count the other one. Nobody said that. Nobody told us that. Yeah, we see people afterwards saying, oh, they told me I had already voted. Well, what did you do about it? You turned around and you went home. Does that make sense? Because that wasn't me. If I would have had a problem, and I did, 2 years ago, they said I was a Democrat. I didn't get my ballot at home, so I went over to the voters registry here in Tuolumne County. I said, hey, I need a vote. They gave me a a voting sheet, and then they said, well, you're a Democrat. I said, no. Lady went back, got me a Republican sheet. I went and filled it out. It was funny because on the Democrat sheet, Donald Trump wasn't on there to vote for him. And you didn't know that till you got the real sheet in, right? So, but I went there and I stood my ground. I wouldn't let him tell me that I had already voted. And I wouldn't let him tell me that I was a Democrat when I wasn't. Make sure it was changed to Republican, make sure I got the right ballot. It's funny to me when I read and see the news that, oh, they said I had already voted. Well, what'd you do? Well, I went home. But now you're talking to the news. Why wouldn't you stand there and demand your vote? Just curious. If that happened to somebody, please let me know why. The issue is the media in the Bay Area is extremely biased and leftist. I get that. Go live on Facebook. Go live on Instagram. We have so many sources of media at our disposal at any moment. You don't believe
You have mail.
Go through Facebook, Instagram. You see everybody going live when they're grocery shopping. You see everybody live when their kid takes the first step. Yeah, we can't go live to let the rest of California know that I'm sitting here at the voter registry's office and they're saying I've already voted, yet I know I haven't. Yeah, we don't say anything. We turn around and we go home. Then we call the media or whatever, and somebody gets wind of it, and all of a sudden we're on television telling Channel 13 how to do it. How important was your vote? That's our problem. See, they censor you. I get it, okay? I get it. But you can still get online and let somebody know, and they can share it, and they can share it, and they can share it while you're there, while the person's in front of you telling you. We didn't see that at all. We didn't see one poll worker with somebody saying, I did not vote. You guys got to ask yourself about that. And I'm not saying these people are lying. I'm just curious. If so many people said this, why did nobody, not even one news station, interview that poll person that just told me that I had already voted? Any of you guys are welcome to chime in on this issue, because I've been thinking about this since election night. I've been thinking about this quite a bit. If they really told you, you have already voted, why would you go home if you really didn't vote? Why wouldn't you pick up your phone just like we are here, go live and say, hey, I'm sitting here in San Jose at the voters' polls. And this lady right here, turn the phone, turn the camera, is telling me I've already voted. Why? I'm just curious. Because when you don't do that, yet your son runs across the street and grabs a baseball, all of a sudden they're like, whoa, look what happened, right? But you would not go live at a voter's registry when they're telling you voted in front of the lady? Is there a problem there? I'm just asking, guys. Two and two don't make sense to me, so I got to make it make sense. And I don't see how. If I was there and they were telling me I already voted and I want to prove voter fraud, trust me, I would have gotten my phone, gone live, and show the whole world that I was there. That is a problem. I see a problem with it. So if you're not willing to do that and you didn't do that, stop saying voter fraud. I mean, we can't prove it. And somebody's going to say they were using Sharpies in San Jose. Okay. Somebody take a picture of it. Somebody show it. We keep saying this, and we keep saying there's proof, yet when there is proof, nobody ever wants to prove it. Nobody ever wants to take their phone and show, look, I'm here. Look around me, guys. Look what's going on. I'm here. I'm talking to this lady, this gentleman right here, and they're telling me I already voted. Yeah, I know I haven't voted. That is real proof. That is credible. But going on at 10, 11 o'clock at night or the next day saying that you went down to the voter election, they said you had already voted. A lot of Democrats did a lot better than Republicans. The top 7 out of the top 10 were Democrats. Because everybody thought getting behind one candidate What's the greatest thing in the world? And they forgot one special thing. First of all, when you put one candidate versus another, it turns off a lot of people. A lot of people would rather keep the devil that they know than get a new one. Second of all, they isolated the other 47 people. They isolated the other 47 people that were running for office. That hurt the whole overall recall election. That hurt our chances to recall Gavin Newsom. The fact that half the people didn't show up to vote meant that half the people didn't care. Or, exactly like somebody said earlier, people did not want to remove a governor with a year left to go. Those are all the problems that we had. All these problems, they're all lining up. Go look at the votes. I think it's 12 million people voted out of 22 million. A lot of people didn't want to. I caused an unplanned training session on spoiling ballots and proper process while I was there. By the time I left, everyone working there knew the proper way to handle surrender their ballots. I just sent you a video of me using a Sharpie. They gave me the voters to fill out. I'll look at that here in a little bit. And we can make that go viral, guys. I'll look and see if the Sharpie works better or doesn't work better. I know the people in my county at the voters registry. As a matter of fact, I'll see if I have time to get there before they close today. And I'll go ask them the questions. I'll see if they'll let me go live while I'm asking them the question. I got to ask their permission because you got to make sure that they're okay with you videoing them. I will ask these questions to make sure. But see, I'm willing to go there and I want to ask the question. So I'll find out for you, though. Be looking for that either later on today or tomorrow. I will get it done by tomorrow. I also heard they didn't want to lose their seat. Who didn't want to lose their seat, Gino? Kind of be a little bit more specific with that, would you please? They stated it dried faster, said that the deep throat caused... you know what? I'll find out and I'll double check that. But that's a good question. And it might be better red and black Sharpie than what it would be a pen. It could be. They did say that the ink pen would cause an issue. And it might. I will actually also find out when I go there today. Those are all good questions. I'm going to keep this. I'll save it. And when I get there today, before I go, I'll rescan it and see what you're saying and see if they tell me the same thing. Because that's actually really important. If they'll let me go live and show them what's going on, you guys will hear the same questions and the same answers that I'm hearing from somebody who counted the votes, who actually does this every day, who works in the election registry. I voted at the Liberty on Hillsdale Avenue in San Jose. Feinstein's so worried about her losing her seat and having Republican in office. Pope Brandon, yes, failed. It's over, yes, failed. We all know the election's over. What I'm trying to say is this. You want to fix it? We got to start replacing every single Republican that's in office right now. Anybody who's coming up for re-election, we need to relook at them. We need to see where they voted. We need to see if we want them in office. Because guess what? They have failed us. They failed each and every single one. I also was able to vote in person without a mask. Me too. What we got to watch out is this, though. Right now, they're coming with the vaccination cards for you to actually be able to go into grocery stores, be able to go into ball games. LA County is one of the worst right now. They're pushing it. They're actually saying that if you don't have a vaccination, you can't go to a baseball game, football game. You can't go into certain stores. You can't go into theaters. Start watching what your local people are doing it. McCarthy. We really need to look at Kevin McCarthy and really understand if that's who we want in office. If you're in that area, if you're in his district, start looking. If you're in any district, go online, see who's your representative for that area. See if you want him back. I know that we have an assemblyman in my district coming up right now, District 5, that's up for re-election. This will be his last 2 years. I made a mistake, guys, so I'm going to be the first one to admit this. I made a mistake. I thought that when you were on assembly, you only got 6 years. You actually get 12 years. It's double the term because they only do a 2-term thing. So my head wasn't thinking right. I thought it was a 4 year. It's not. It's a 2-year term. And you can go up to 12 years. So our assembly people are in there for 12 years and nobody ever pays attention. Kevin Kiley actually has 6 more years to be able to go. My guy, his name is Bigelow, from Alpine all the way to Mona, all the way to Madeira. He has, this is his last. If he runs in 2022 and he wins, this is his last year and then he'll term out. How do we let these people sit there for 12 years? We don't give up the fight because we lose battles. You know what? Nobody's giving up. We're going strong. We're going to go even stronger for 2022. I want everybody to understand. We want to fix voter fraud. We need to get everybody out there to vote. Forget about your party lines. Start talking to your neighbors. Start talking to your coworkers. Start talking to everybody who may not have vote. There are no mistakes. Yes, I would ban vaccination cards. Guys, if pedophiles don't have to show that they're pedophiles to walk into a place where there's kids, why should we have to show a vaccination card to go in someplace? Vaccinations, I got to tell you guys this. It's the way I feel about it, my personal feeling. Why are you giving me a drug before I get sick? Why don't you just give me morphine? I'm going to go play football today just in case I get hurt. Because somebody give me morphine just in case. That's what the vaccination is. I've never heard of a doctor giving you a drug before the illness came. Now, got enough people on both sides here going. Anybody wants to tell me why you have to take a vaccination before you get sick, please do so. And tell me which doctor prescribed it, because I'm going to go ask them for some morphine, because I'm actually going to go ride my motorcycle probably on the track tomorrow. And if I get hurt, I don't want to hurt. Isn't that prevention? Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you saying that. It's a learning curve. This is my first election. A lot of stuff I thought wasn't, and a lot of stuff that isn't. It's kind of weird. But when we get down to these vaccinations, tell me, why do I have to take a drug before I'm sick? Why do I have to prove that I'm healthy to go into a restaurant? They never ask that if you have the chicken pox. They never ask you that if you have cancer, AIDS, the cold. They never ask you, hey, you have the flu. Can you please get tested before you walk in here? Yeah, you want to know if I have COVID. Yeah, I have no symptoms. I don't show it. Where does this become justified? How are you justifying giving me medicine before an illness? Now coming out saying don't do it. Check on Rumble. Pfizer's dude is coming out saying don't do it. Natural immune system is best. Studies, right? So I want to get, and I wish I actually had that doctor on here that ran for office. We actually did a debate one day, and I'm going to find his number. The guy was really nice, willing to talk. And I asked him that, and he didn't answer. Now I want to know that question. I'm going to see if I can get him on here next week to join me. And I want to ask him that simple question. Do you prescribe medicine before an injury? Do you prescribe cancer medicine, chemo, for somebody who has no cancer? So why are you prescribing me to take a vaccination with no symptoms? Somebody can explain that. If anybody here works in the medical field and understands that, please let me know why we're now prescribing drugs before an incident, before somebody needs it. So somebody out there, anybody who works in medical, anybody who has anybody in medical, can you please explain that to me? Second thing, anybody here who's in biochemistry and understands about vaccinations, making the vaccinations, and how long it takes. How long does it really take to make a vaccination? Because it doesn't take 4 months. And anybody who actually believes that they actually got a vaccination done in 4 months, you're wrong. There's no way. There's no way they got a vaccination done and on the market within 4 months. I don't care how work speed or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't happen. Anybody in biochemistry, please join in. Please let me know. Put it on the comments. I will be more than happy to read it. If you don't know the answer today, let's look it up. Big pharmaceutical invested in the shot, not about the cure, giving shots to make money. Again, why am I getting medicine before I need it? When somebody asks you to take the shot, go, I'm not sick. Why would I want to do that? Why don't you give me a shot of morphine? Well, we can't. There's nothing wrong with you. But you can give me a shot when there's nothing wrong with me. That doesn't make sense, guys. We've been fighting the wrong fight. See, we've been fighting the wrong fight. We've been saying we don't want it. We don't need it. We never said why. We never asked them, why do I need the vaccination? Anybody who's in the medical field that's joining us, nurse, doctor, or anybody who administrates medicine, Can you please tell me, do you give a patient medicine before they are hurt? No, that's against the law. People get in trouble for prescribing prescriptions to people when there's nothing wrong with them. So why would you tell me to take a shot before I have COVID? And then tell me you can still get COVID. What's the point of the shot? Anybody who's out there, please let me know. Biochemists, how long does it take to make a vaccination? It's going to be on our children. We have to protect them. 100%, Rob. I agree with you. But if we don't protect ourselves and we don't stand up to it now, you're right. Our kids are going to get it. As a matter of fact, they're making our kids get it right now. Why do I want my kid to have a medicine when they're not sick? You might as well give my kids cancer chemotherapy every week because they might go around somebody, they might have it. Arthritis? How many of you guys could be facing arthritis? We're in our 40s. We're around the corner to get arthritis, right? Can I get arthritis medicine today? No. Why? Because there's nothing wrong with me. So how are they making it that they give you a drug before you have any symptoms, before you're sick? That concept there hit us, it has it. Those fully vaccinated are getting COVID again and spreading it. As a matter of fact, what I read, it makes your immune system down, doesn't help it up. What it helps is the symptoms not to be so bad, or it actually attracts it. So we need to actually do more research on what it does. We also need to ask, why do I need to get medicine before I'm sick? I might as well go to my cabinet, grab some ibuprofen, and take 5 just in case this afternoon somebody gives me a headache. Or just in case Timmy decides to come back on my page, my #1 fan, and start insulting me again, and I got to kind of take it in the other side and not try to get a headache. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to grab 5 ibuprofens. I'm going to take them and hope that I get a headache this afternoon. Because that's what they're doing with the vaccination. Doctors running in Minnesota for governor is a good source. Gates is under trial for charges relating to his activities with... I didn't see that about Gates, but I want to see it now. With Fauci. Wow, I didn't know that. I'm going to look up Gates here in a little bit because I like Gates, but Gates failed me. Margie Taylor Greene, Gates, they came down to Southern California. They had to move 4 times to get a place where they could talk. They actually ended up talking at the beach. California people, California residents gave them money, donated to them, donated to their costs, donated to their accounts, right? California people needed help on the recall. I'm still waiting to hear something from them. Ted Cruz, talking about the Second Amendment, asking for money, saying that he's going to protect us. Where were you, Ted? Kevin McCarthy, you were in Florida with DeSantis instead of being here taking care of the California people. I'm actually going to give Davin Nunes a pass. I'm going to give Davin Nunes a pass because I know something about Davin that I understand why he didn't stick his head out. And Davin, nothing but respect for you. And I hope you and your family are safe and good. I understand why you didn't come out and say anything, Davin. When I found out why, I understood 100%, but it was nice to at least know why you didn't come out here and said something. And I'll give Davin Nunes a pass because of what I know. But every other one of our elected officials, I won't. Garcia, Young Kim, Steele, Galeo, Bigelow, McClintock, and the list goes on and on and on. Funny thing, I don't know how many of you guys watched after the election. After the election was going on, Jessica Patterson, and I don't attack Jessica Patterson. I don't really attack the Republican Party, went on Fox News, and they had a panel of 4 people there. And what happened was, she said the Democratic Party brought out 2 presidents, an ex-president, a vice president, Congress people. Everybody stood behind them. And I'm sitting here thinking, you're the chair lady for the Republican Party. Are you telling me that you don't know who our local Republicans are that were elected in office, and you can't pick up the phone and say, hey, Mike Garcia, we need your help. Young Kim, we helped you get elected. Come on out. Valaderos, come on out. We just got you elected. California needs your help. Come stand behind the recall. But you want to go on Fox News and you want to bitch about it. That you did not pick up the phone and call our elected officials. You are the head of the Republican Party in the state of California. And you want to bitch about the Democrats doing it, but you could not pick up the phone. Jessica Patterson, I don't know you. I've never met you. I'm just asking you a question from what I observed on Fox News that night of the election, that you got on there and you were crying that the Democratic Party got two ex-presidents, or a president, which if you want to call Joe Biden a president, got him out of his ice cream parlor. You have Barack Obama. You had Kamala Harris. You have Pocahontas up north doing smoke signals, telling everybody to vote no. How come you did not call one of our representatives and tell him to come on down? Simple question. How come you didn't call Kevin McCarthy and say, hey, California really needs a strong leader right now to step up and say, vote yes on the recall? Simple question. As a matter of fact, I'm writing Frank Bigelow a letter today, and I'm going to call his office, and I'm going to ask him, how come you did not come out for your counties and you want to get reelected for your last term? We might have to see about that. Maybe somebody will run against them. Maybe we'll get a real Republican in there to run against them, or a real conservative. I don't even want to use that word Republican anymore. Maybe we'll get a right conservative person who will actually stand for California and the people of California to run in this district now. Because enough's enough. Haven't you guys had enough? Have the California Conservative Party not have had enough of not being represented in this state? Gates is being dragged through the mud to attempt to discredit and defame him. I haven't looked at it. I'll tell you guys what. I haven't looked at any of the news. I looked at the elections on the news, and then it's always so much one-sided that I just kind of gave up on watching Fox, CNN. I'll watch Univision every now and then because they'll sometimes give the right thing. If not, I try to go and look at where we're at, right? But have we not had enough? Have the Conservative Party in the state of California have not had enough? Are we done yet? Are we done with voting the same people into office that had just failed us during this recall election? Not one of them showed up. Not one Republican that is in office showed up today, showed up during the recall to help us get it through the finish line. We did not unite. We separated. Oh, stop crying, California, say blue, and we'll always be. You know what? It's not about blue, red, white, or purple. That's the first thing. I appreciate the comment, and I'm not going to say that we're not being dominated by one party over the other. I don't think there's a difference between the parties, to be honest with you. So if you want to say they're dominated, I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't matter what party you play with. When they got elected, they all went to the same party. They all went to, you know what this reminds me of? You guys ever watch Hell's Kitchen? You guys ever watch Hell's Kitchen, where Hell's Kitchen at one time, they all get black jackets? They're all on the same team? I think when you get elected to office, all of a sudden you get a black jacket and everybody's on the same team, because our party, the Conservative Party, failed the California people. They failed from coming out here. Jessica Patterson, I'm not picking on you. I don't know you. You never even call me. You never email me. You never even acknowledged that I was running for office. So that's how much we know each other. I just got one question. Why did you, as the leader of the California GOP, not called, not demanded that the people who you helped get into office, that people that we, the California Republican Party, helped get into office, did not come here and help us? If anybody knows Jessica Patterson, if anybody could tag her in this, please do so. Because that's a question that I think she needs to answer to every single one of us. Why did you not contact the Republican officials that are in office? Kevin McCarthy, Garcia, and he was on the news. Garcia was on the news. He was talking about Afghanistan. Granted, brother, you're a pilot. You're a military pilot. All due respect to you. Talk about Afghanistan. Talk about California. We pay you. Young Kim, where are you? Women's Federation spend numbers of hours on the phone getting you elected. Here in California. Valaderos, man, the people of Bakersfield, Fresno area, worked their asses off to get you into office. For you to turn around, backstab Trump, and then now you just backstab the California people by not coming here and pushing on a recall. 6 million voted for Trump, 3 million voted for recall. Where was the other million Republican voters that night? Man, a lot of people just didn't want to vote that night. A lot of people said that night that they just rather not vote. And a lot of it, I talked to a lot of people since then. I do that a lot. I actually go different pages and look at people and what they say. A lot of people said exactly what somebody said on my comment earlier. We did not feel that we needed to go and vote for a one-year term. Flat out. And if anybody out there that thinks that they are an expert in politics, there is no such thing as an expert in politics. And I don't care how thing you think that you are and how great you think you are. Nobody knew what this election was going to do, and nobody knew that we weren't going to have the draw of people. The draw of people that we needed out there to vote. And if you're running for any seat, before you talk bad about somebody else, why don't you win a seat? And before you talk about somebody attacking somebody else, you might want to know the whole history. There are things that happen. I like it how people who run for office become political experts and tell somebody who can and cannot win. Yet they force other people that they're supposed to be influencers to think the same way. Jolie Lunas, you came in a little late. I could readdress that. We kind of addressed that before. That's right. Hair gel paid for the recall. Walt Disney paid for the recall. Netflix paid for the recall. Gavin Newsom spent $80 million. $80 million on advertisement. $80 million. Do you guys know what the Republican Party and the recall spend on the recall, on ads? It's a fraction of that. Then we wonder why we lost. We had no representation from anybody in office. I don't care who it was. We had nobody. We had nobody helping us other than grassroots people. Yet then the Republican Party tried to say they did it. Kevin Kiley tried to say he did it. That's not what happened. Let's keep it real. And that is it. It's better to be a professional than an expert. I'm running for office. This was my first time. I learned a lot. I still would not tell somebody not to run. I will still never discourage somebody, but I will give them their credit where their credit is due. It's not a secret. Me and Kevin Kiley don't like each other, and I don't even know why. I offended him the first day I met him. He actually turned his back when I tried to shake his hand and tell him who I was. Bottom line, that's the truth. There were people there. They witnessed it. They know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was at his fundraiser. I went, paid money for his fundraiser, and he turned his back on me. That's the truth. That's what happened between me and Kevin Kiley. So when Kevin Kiley first came on, I made some comments. I say, he's not the guy you guys think he is. Go look at him when he's not on camera. Go look at him when there's not a woman around. Go look at him when he's not anywhere. And somebody who said they were a political expert attacked me saying, Diego thinks that this is between him and Kevin Kiley. It's not. It's a recall. Well, the person who said that, and I know they're watching me right now, learn your facts before you attack another person. If you wanted to know why I was saying that about Kevin Kiley, first of all, it was true. Kevin Kiley voted yes on mail-in ballots. Kevin Kiley also voted yes on SB 9 and SB 10, which if somebody actually doesn't go and do what they're supposed to, they're going to raise my neighbor who's elderly, who's on a fixed income. They're going to raise her property taxes because I could put a fourplex behind my house. You weren't thinking about those people, Kevin. And you know why? Because you don't own a house. So you don't understand. There's one more thing that a lot of people didn't know about Kevin Kiley. Since you're watching, I'll just tell you flat out. Kevin Kiley sits in the board in the legislation for education. Let that sink in for 10 seconds to you. He sits on the legislation for education. Yeah, he wants to come out here and preach school choice. You're in legislation and you're about the teachers. Why aren't you taking care of it? You want to talk about transgenders being taught in our schools? Kevin, you're in the legislation. Why aren't you doing something about it? Those are the things. That being said, I respect him as a lawyer. I think he's a good lawyer. Could I work with him? Of course. If I needed a lawyer and I needed a good lawyer, I probably would hire him. Personally, don't care for the guy. But you got to be able to respect what they can do. That's why I brought him up. And I kind of told you guys a little history about us because he is a good lawyer. He actually does know the law. Yeah, he's a rhino. I'm not saying he's not. But if I needed a lawyer and we could keep him in track, he'd probably make a hell of an AG. He really would. I know that's not what people want to hear, but you got to realize where people's talents sit before you go attack somebody. One thing that I'll give this person, they said, at least I know my policies. Yeah, I know legislation because I studied it, because I actually take the time to care and see where we need to fix the problems in California. Kevin needs to stay where he's at and help. Unfortunately for Kevin Kiley, he actually probably needs to get the hell out of the assembly because we know that he hasn't voted quite the way the California people need him. Bottom line. But at least he was out here. He was talking about the recall. I'll give him dues where dues are deserved, right? Because you don't ever take that away from anybody. Now, LA, I'm going to say this right now because somebody just put this out here, and I want everybody to know this. They're having a medical freedom come out to downtown Los Angeles, City Hall, medical freedom rally this Saturday. Do me a favor. Can you put the time that it starts and what time it finishes? So we can just let everybody know. If you guys are about medical freedom, which I am, and I'm going to tell you guys this, I'm a little ignorant about medical freedom because I thought we already had it. And what I mean by that is that I thought that we had medical freedom because to me, you should have the choice of how you get your medication, whether you go to a traditional doctor, whether you go to herbs, whatever you feel, because it's your body, you should have the right to treat it the way that you want to be treated. And it's your freedom to be able to do that. Okay. Somebody said, well, that's not what it is. And I'm like, okay, well, what is medical freedom? They explained it to me. I'm like, that doesn't sound like medical freedom to me. This is what medical freedom means to me. You have the decision and the choice to be able to go and practice the kind of medicine or what you need to be able to take care of your own self. Am I wrong about that? Send me the flyer. It's going to be from noon to 4. LA City Hall, Saturday, noon to 4, medical freedom celebration, rally going on over there. Peaceful rally, please, guys. Let's make sure everything we do is peaceful. Why? We have a state to get back. And we have got to forget about party lines. And we have got to start working to a better future. Forget about party lines. We just saw what parties did, right? They actually divided. They didn't put anybody together. We need to start bringing everybody together. If medical freedom includes abortion, women's right, I don't know what it is. So again, we can talk about that if you want. I'm about pro-life. I'm about adoption, and I'm about a solution for the kids who are put up for adoption. The adoption laws are way too strict. It's too expensive. Instead of the state worrying about funding Planned Parenthood for abortions, we should take that money and apply it towards adoption. I lost all hope after this election. Don't lose hope. A lot of people didn't show up to vote. A lot of people thought it was worthless about showing up to vote. A lot of people thought it wouldn't make sense. And a lot of people thought that one party pushing, it was a Larry Elder versus Gavin Newsom. They didn't realize that there were 47 other people they could have picked. That also cost us the election. It did. But the number one thing, not enough people voted no on the recall. I don't care how you break it down. That is exactly what it did. Father of 6, and I take care of all my children. So there's a lot of pro-life people here, but I think that we actually need to take, I think we need to take the money that we're spending on government providing abortions, take that money and actually put it for government providing people the ability to be able to adopt, and more people be able to adopt these kids and being able to give them a loving home. That is what we need to work on. Then we could talk about everything else, because when you have a bunch of kids running around going in foster care, no parent wants their kid to go to foster care. You hear horror stories about foster care. I think we need to revamp foster care and actually inspect what we expect out of people and make sure that people are actually getting taken care of. So we have a lot of work in the state of California to do. Step number 1, letting everybody know that Diego Martinez is running for 2022. Like, share my videos. Step number 2, go to DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com, hit the donate button, and at least donate $5 so we can get this thing vamped up. October 1st, we're going to launch our campaign. I already said it. I am running in 2022. This was all set up for 2022. We're going to take a week and a half, kind of off from the campaign trail. Body's exhausted. I'm exhausted. My staff, I can't thank my staff enough for everything that they did with such a short staff and a lot of what we had to cover. Doesn't cover other candidates because it's like popularity contest and all. And we need to get that out of this. We need to get that popularity contest out. When somebody says, we need to say, hey, we need to go here. We need to go there. We need to look at these candidates. You know how it happens? Like, share, and follow. Like, share, and follow on all your social platforms. Take these videos, put them on other platforms. Let people see who I am. Help me. Help California to a better future. I can't do it by myself. We've already proved that. We know. I need people to help in different counties. I need people to volunteer to help in different counties so that when we get there, we have something organized. We have people there. We can get the tents up. We can get the tables out. We can get the flyers out. We can get the T-shirts out. We have a new plan for new T-shirts coming out. Where we are going to actually help. We're probably going to give away a lot of our T-shirts this time around. We want to just get the word out. So we're working on that concept right now. There's just a little preview of what we're working on. That's why a week and a half, actually working in the office, actually getting my business back in line and getting everything that we need to move forward for 2022. Great experience was the recall. Let us know where we're failing. Let us know what we're doing good. And we are going to keep going this. If an independent gets popular enough to start making waves, the MSS, and that's what it is. And that's what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to help me get popular enough. I need you guys to keep passing these videos. Go to my YouTube, Diego Martinez for Governor on YouTube. Subscribe to the page. We put videos in there. We have an info commercial. A lot of independent conservatives leaving the state over votes are moving out of state. A lot of people are going to move out of state. I can't stop that. Nobody can stop that till we change California. Once people move out, we need to pick up new people. We need, as conservatives, to go and make sure that everybody comes and understands what we're about. It's not always about one subject or another. It's about unity and finding a better way. Moving to Texas, but we'll volunteer and help if I'm still here. Go to DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Team Diego, put what you're willing to volunteer and what county you're with. We will get a hold of you. The first thing we're asking everybody, anybody who wants to volunteer, the very first thing that we're doing, please help us out on social media. Like, share my posts. Like, share my videos. Please. I do them in English. I do them in Spanish. We are going to move this. We are actually going to go to San Jose. There's a gentleman running there that I'm going to go talk to. Might endorse him, and I'm going to help the Hispanic community come together with the Vietnamese community so that they could build a strong alliance so we could start from the ground up and start replacing people in local offices. We're also going to do the same thing for assembly. We're going to look at who's coming up for who's terming out, who's coming up for election this year. We're going to post their names, and we're going to ask everybody to start looking at new candidates to be able to take this. Take your local offices back. Start getting involved in county council, city hall. Start looking at who's not helping your community be better, because those are the people that we need to change. Those are the people that we need to move to the next level. That is what's going on now, and that's what we need to do. Do not give up. Do not give up, and do not give up hope, because when they take your hope, they take your faith away. Remember, 12 million people showed up. We have another 12 million that never showed up, 10 million people that never showed up to vote. We can win California back, but we, united, we together, not Diego Martinez, not anybody else. It's the California people that need to win it back. How do we do that? Like and share my videos. Go to DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Hit the donate button. At least donate $5. $5 one time will go a long way. If you could do it every month, it'd be great. But if you could do it a one-time donation of $5, go on DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Hit donate. Put $5 in there. Then go over to Team Diego and tell us what you can volunteer with. If anything right now, if you don't have the time, please share my videos. Like and share. Let your friends know who I am. Ask your friends to like and share my videos. We are at 3,000 followers on Instagram in 4 months. We need to get that to 10. We need to get that to 10 million followers, 10,000 followers. So our goal right now is to get 10,000 followers on Instagram, 4 months. All right, can we do that? we can. If everybody wants to hop on here, like and share. I'm going to talk a little bit about, before I go here, I'm going to talk a little bit about what somebody brought back about the election. Here was my problem. People are saying that the election, that they went to the election board and they went to vote and they said they had already voted. The people went home. Me personally, I'm not saying that didn't happen. So I don't know. What I would have said is this. I would have grabbed my phone. I would have gone live on Instagram or Facebook, one of my social media, and I would have put that person who's in front of me telling me that I've already voted. I would have challenged them on camera. I would have called my assemblyman and say, how the heck is this going on? And I would have demanded a new sheet so I could have voted. And I would have demanded that the old one got tossed away. Here's the problem to believe those stories. Nobody knows. Nobody saw that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. What I'm saying is hard to believe when you went home and 4 hours later, 10 hours later, you're talking to news media telling them that your vote didn't count because somebody had already voted for you. How come you didn't do something when you were there? How come you weren't worried about it when you were there that day? Why didn't you put your camera on and let everybody in California know that somebody had already voted for you right in front of the person who's telling you that? Would that have made a difference? Hell yeah, it would have, because then it's credible. Then you have somebody right there live telling you somebody already placed your vote. Then we know. But we also could have asked that person right there, okay, what can I do? I don't want that vote. I never voted. Can I get a new one? Had a few people say that one video, that whole thing. I like to see it. If somebody knows somebody who videoed that whole thing, please show it. Because I didn't see it. I don't know anything about it. That's why I'm bringing it up. That's what I would do. I would have called my assemblyman. I would have called my congressman. I would have gone down to the local newspaper. I would have called them. I would have called the local television. And I would have put it right in front of me. And I would have demanded them to give me a new ballot. Now, a lot of people reported to elections integrity. I heard that, but we haven't seen the proof, and that's the problem. So this afternoon, if I have time, I'm going to go to my local voter registry. I'm going to ask the young lady or the guy there. I know them both. I'm going to ask them if I can ask them a few questions on camera. I'm going to ask about, does ink leak through better than a Sharpie? Somebody said, please do. Somebody said that it actually, that a Sharpie will actually dry better. So when it goes to the machines, it doesn't spread. Contact election integrity. We know that people called. We know that people complained. But we didn't see it at the polls. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it didn't happen. So I don't want nobody to think I'm saying it didn't happen. What I'm trying to say is they should have picked up their phones, gone live on any social media, and I guarantee you, everybody would have passed that. But we could also ask them how to handle it at that moment. Because somebody would have typed in, hey, what do we do about it? Hey, what do I do about this? Can I get another ballot? Can we void out the last one? A lot of people went home, didn't do anything about it. So that's what I'm talking about. When somebody shows up on news and starts talking about they had a problem, yet they don't show it. Yet they showed little Johnny crossing the street for the very first time, hitting the button to cross the street. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying it isn't true. What I'm saying is that today's technology will allow a lot more people to know and would have allowed a lot more people to help you at that moment had you picked up the phone right in front of the person who's telling you that you already voted, even though you're right there and you know you didn't vote. Is that too much to ask, or am I wrong? I know somebody said contact election integrity. We can contact them. They're going to tell me how many reports they had. Most people don't understand how it all works or even what they should do if that happens. We give everybody ballots and tell them to vote, but no one really covers the actual process of voting. You know what? Brian, you're probably right. And I'm not saying it happened. Okay. So now we have somebody from Newsmax that it happened to. Did they go live? Did they tell anybody other than going on their program and telling people? Did they actually go live and ask the people at the election, how can I fix this? I'm not saying it didn't happen. What I'm saying is that we addressed it the wrong way. And maybe just like he said, nobody really knows. So maybe we do need to do an educational video on it and let that go viral so that people understand it. So Brian, why don't you DM me and maybe we'll set up something. I know you were teaching people at the voters registry the other day how to do it. Maybe we'll do a quick video on it, 5-10 minutes if you're available. And we can go. It was on the news. But did they show the people at the election place saying you've already voted? moving forward. It's a great know that we have a man. I am still running. We're still going. A serious video. I get it. A series of videos. I'll see if I can get some help, and let's see if we can do it. Maybe we could get the people from Voter Integrity to do a video with us and show us what we need to look for and what we're doing. Complete an incident report okay. So I will call Voter Integrity later on today if I have time, and not next week. I'll put that on my calendar to do so that we can get a series of videos on what we should do about voting and how we can protect ourselves. That's a great idea. I think that's something that probably needs to come out. So I want to thank everybody for joining me today. Please, DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Donate at least $5. Every $5 counts. DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Go on and go to Team Diego if you can volunteer in any county that you're in. I don't care what it is that you can volunteer, even if it's just handing out flyers when we have a rally there. We are going to put a lot more rallies. We're going to put a lot more stuff. We will be doing it also in Spanish, teaching people how to vote and what's the importance of voting. Anything that you guys can help with right now, the best thing everybody could do is do this. Please like and share my videos. Please go and donate at least $5 to my account, to my campaign account. That's where the money goes. My accountant gets it. I don't see it. But we do know who did and who didn't support us. We want to say thank you to everybody for joining us today. We'll see you guys next week. Saturday, don't forget, Medical Freedom Rally, downtown Los Angeles in front of City Hall. I'm going to post a flyer here in a little bit. We also need to get more people to come out and register to vote. We need to educate people what the party differences are. And we need to educate people on what's really going on in California, like SB 339, SB 145, Prop 47, and all the damages it has done. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you guys next week. Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. Thank you for all your support.